After a mixed reaction following Aztec Warfare number 3, Sexy Star tonight defends her newly won Lucha Underground Championship against the man, Johnny Mundo. What's in store for Sexy Star? Also, tonight on NXT, a huge announcement in regards to the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. Let's talk about it. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. It's fucking hot in here. Holy shit, man. I got my heat working, bro. Got my heat working. It's nice and toasty. I think it's too toasty in here. But my landlord fixed my heat. Thank fucking Christ. It was 30 degrees today. And I'm glad I'm not going to be freezing my balls off tonight. But I watched Lucha Underground NXT tonight, November 23rd, 2016, in the comfort of my own home. Fucking heated like it used to be. And not much happened tonight, man. Not much happened tonight. Very uneventful night of wrestling on Wednesday night. NXT was nothing but a highlight show with a few matches strewn about. Taped right before TakeOver Toronto. We'll go over that. Huge announcement, though, in regards to the NXT Championship. Nakamura, Joe. We'll go over that. Obviously, on Lucha Underground, we had Sexy Star defending her newly won Lucha Underground Championship against Johnny Mundo, who is the Gift of the Gods champion, cashing in. He didn't win Aztec Warfare, but he gets a title shot because he is the Gift of the Gods champion. So we'll talk about that as well and go over again my opinion of Sexy Star leading Lucha Underground as the face of that company into this week. So we got a lot to talk about. But before I do that, guys, quickly, I want to make mention, Barbershop Window. If you guys have been on the fence about buying some of my merchandise, man, fucking unbelievable t-shirt designs. I just came out with JD is Negan. I got Dana Brooke, Get Off My TV version 5. There's the Eva Marie, the Roman Reigns, the Big Show, the Goon City, the Off the Script logo shirt, man. Everything that I've ever produced for you guys as far as t-shirts go. This weekend, this week only, up until next Tuesday at 12 p.m., you're going to get 30% off everything, man. So if you guys have been on the fence, if you've been pondering about buying a t-shirt, act now, because there's not going to be another sale for the rest of the year. 30% off everything, not only in my store, but the entire website. So act today. Use the coupon code Black Friday at checkout, and you're going to get 30% off everything up until next Tuesday. So act now and go get your t-shirts. Every t-shirt sale directly affects the growth of this channel and the podcast, man. So thank you to everybody that has purchased t-shirts. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Now, NXT, nothing but a highlight show. I want to make this very quick. The only thing of interest and the only important thing on tonight's show was the announcement that in Osaka, Japan, when WWE tours Osaka, it's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Samoa Joe. His rematch is coming for the NXT Championship. As you guys know, Samoa Joe, in shocking fashion, I don't think anybody had predicted Samoa Joe to win. I think everybody, or mostly everybody, had Nakamura winning in Toronto. But Joe and Nakamura going to have a third match. Hopefully this is the deciding match. I honestly think what WWE did in Toronto was throw everybody off from their predictions. Joe is the only two-time NXT champion. They gave him that honor because I think Joe is moving up. They need a face that's going to carry them into 2017. WWE is clearly going to go after every big-name free agent in the market for NXT. They're going to replenish NXT, and it's going to be another year that NXT is going to thrive on the WWE Network. That's what I honestly believe. Nakamura is going to be the face of that company. He will be called up in 2017 only when WWE has replaced him with somebody who they know and they feel could lead that company on tour and that people are going to pay money to see. Who that is right now, I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is Joe and Nakamura is happening in Osaka. Joe won it. Joe's going to lose it in a couple of weeks. When they tour Osaka, Japan, Joe is going to lose it back to Nakamura. So we're going to have Nakamura and Joe, the only two NXT superstars to ever grace that promotion, be the two-time NXT champion. And then Joe's going to get called up. I think Nakamura is going to go on to feud with Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode's going to be the next in line. The guy is just way too hot to not do anything with. Bobby Roode's going to get his shot at the NXT championship. Joe's going to move up. I think Joe's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I think Joe, we're going to see him off television for a few weeks. Come Royal Rumble build, Joe's going to be in the Rumble, and that's it. He might even play a part in the Brock Lesnar, Bill Goldberg situation. I don't know. WWE can get creative because I know a lot of people, from what I've seen and what I read, they're worried that WWE is going to rinse and repeat what Lesnar and Goldberg did back at WrestleMania 20 in the build that led up to that match at Madison Square Garden. Maybe Joe is the component here that throws everything off key. Maybe Joe gets involved with Lesnar in the Rumble. Maybe Joe gets involved with Goldberg. Because remember, Joe tweeted out very cryptically when Lesnar and Goldberg happened and that shocking ending happened at Survivor Series. He said that he was very frustrated. Frustrated with the outcome. He didn't mention what the fuck he was frustrated with, but he mentioned he was upset. And his eyes were locked on a new target. That could be Goldberg. That could be Lesnar. I don't know. But I have a feeling Joe's going to lose to Nakamura. Joe's going to be in the Rumble. And Joe is going to have a big part in the Royal Rumble. So we got to wait and see. That's my prediction for that. It's time. It's time that Joe moves up to the main roster. Obviously, I want him to go to SmackDown. I think Joe on Monday Night Raw would kill his career and his momentum because Dunn and McMahon and everybody else associated with Monday Night Raw, they're not going to know how to book Samoa Joe. I want Samoa Joe comfortable. I want Joe amongst people that have booked NXT. Ryan Ward is perfect for that. Triple H on SmackDown. Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Road Dogg, everybody else that knows what the fuck that they're doing most weeks on SmackDown. I think Joe is going to fit there. And there's a lot more matches on SmackDown side compared to Raw that I want to see Joe in. Styles, Cena, Orton, Wyatt, Ambrose, Ziggler. There's a lot of potential for Joe on SmackDown. So we'll see what happens. I think that Nakamura's going to win it back and Joe's going to be on the main roster for the Royal Rumble. That's just my honest opinion. Let me know what you guys think about Joe and him being promoted to the main roster. As for NXT tonight, not much happened, man. Quickly, we had Rich Swann versus Kona Reeves. He's a huge Hawaiian who was trained by Alpha. This went to a no contest, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Sanity came out and beat the shit out of Rich Swann. Eric Young takes the microphone, says that they are going to take and they're going to do things their way because they're tired of doing things the right way. They tried that. It's not working. They're going to take and they're going to do things their own way. Eric Young got a decent reaction. I believe he is from Canada. And he says this generation is going to be remembered because Sanity is just going to take everything that comes their way. So, Rich Swann got beat up. This prompts No Way Jose to come out. Now you guys know No Way Jose and Rich Swann were partners. They're friends. They teamed up for the Dusty Classic. No Way Jose comes out, challenges Eric Young to a match. This leads to him getting beat down. Eric Young pulls out what I believe is going to be his new finishing move. German suplex into a neckbreaker. Beautiful move. He did it on Rich Swann and he did it on No Way Jose. And Sanity. I'm liking the men. I'm liking the act. If it gets everybody in the group over, it's a win-win. And that's what WWE is doing there. They took developmental talent. They're putting them in a big role in hopes to get them over. And I think this is going to get everybody over. That is Insanity, man. So I like what I'm seeing here so far from the group. Swann, No Way Jose, beat down. I believe next week No Way Jose gets his match with Eric Young. So SmackDown had their live show last night. NXT, I believe, I read somewhere, they taped right before SmackDown. Joe was going against Ty Dillinger, and Eric Young is going up against No Way Jose. And then after that is when WWE will film NXT television and build towards what I believe is going to be TakeOver Texas, because I believe there's going to be a TakeOver during Royal Rumble weekend. So we got to see what's going on with that. But within the next week and a half, we're going to get NXT tapings to see where WWE goes and furthers feuds. So the next 2 weeks are going to be throwaway. And you really can't blame them. I mean, there's nothing coming out of Toronto. They're still coming down from the high that is Survivor Series weekend. And usually after a big event and a big takeover, they usually do the highlights and they interview everybody and give you exclusive interviews. That's exactly what this show was. So Rich Swann gets beaten down. No Way Jose gets beaten down. And Sanity looks tall, looks strong in the end. We got a women's match, the only other match that took place on this show. Liv Morgan, Aaliyah, Ember Moon versus Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, and Daria Baronato. The one that looks like a UFC fighter. This match went about 8 minutes and 41 seconds. Liv Morgan, Ali, and Ember Moon won, with Ember Moon getting the eclipse, the total eclipse, the lunar eclipse, whatever the fuck she's calling her move nowadays, on Daria Berenato. I thought she broke her neck. It was beautiful, man. Ember Moon is fucking awesome. Can't wait to see how they build her up in 2017. As I made my prediction several weeks ago, Ember Moon is going to be the one to take down Asuka, give her her first loss, and take the NXT Women's Championship and become the face of that division WrestleMania weekend. Bank on it, book it, you know where you heard it first. And that was pretty much it, guys. That was NXT, and next week is going to be more of the same. We got Ty Dillinger versus Samoa Joe, which was taped before SmackDown, and I believe Eric Young versus No Way Jose. So, NXT, a couple throwaway shows. They should be back to normal in about 2 weeks. Lucha Underground. You guys know how I felt coming out of Aztec Warfare. Sexy Star beat Mil Muertes. Don't know why, don't know how, but she did. Shoved him through a table, and a double foot stomp off the top rope, through the table debris, and she pinned Mil Muertes. This is the same Mil Muertes that fucking buried Prince Puma a week before. And took Prince Puma to a fucking unbelievable match, brutal match, fucking dragging caskets in the ring and fucking burying Prince Puma, no longer in Lucha Underground. This is the same Mil Muertes that lost to Sexy Star. Now, Matanza lost the title in Aztec Warfare as he was pinned by Rey Mysterio. And a lot of you guys ruined not only Aztec Warfare, but some of you ruined this week for me. I knew Sexy Star was winning Aztec Warfare 2 weeks before it happened, because some of you guys spoiled, and this is, it comes with the territory, being that Lucha Underground was fucking taped already. The entire fucking season is taped. I don't want any spoilers in my comment section. I don't want any spoilers on my Twitter. If I see it, you're getting benched, you're getting banned, you're getting fucking taken off the comment section, and you will never participate in anything I do on this channel ever again. I hate it. Don't ruin it for me. I don't read the spoilers. I want to be genuinely surprised. So when I seen Sexy Star was winning it 2 weeks before Aztec Warfare, I played it off as if I didn't really care and that I didn't see it. But, of course, I seen it. Because you post something in my comment section, I got to filter through everything and I see it. So, fuck you guys, okay, for whoever did it. I don't want to see any spoilers, otherwise you are getting benched. And I also knew Johnny Mundo was going to win the Lucha Underground Championship tonight, which, in fact, he did, in controversial fashion. He won it because, towards the end of the match, he pulled a fan, or what we thought was a fan, down from the crowd. She was standing on one crutch, and he took the crutch and tried to use it as a weapon on Sexy Star. Missed. And Sexy Star picked up the crutch. She missed, Johnny Mundo. And all of a sudden, the woman who was standing in the crowd on the crutch takes out breast knuckles and knocks Sexy Star out. So in controversial fashion, Johnny Mundo sees this, jumps on the opportunity. He wants to win the title. He will do whatever it takes to win the title. Throws Sexy Star in the ring. Does his finishing move, which is the corkscrew moonsault off the top rope, or off the second rope. And 1, 2, 3. New Lucha Underground champion. What was revealed with this fan, I kind of knew who it was, and I was right in my assumption. It ended up being Taya. And then all of the Worldwide Underground come out and celebrate, and Johnny Mundo goes off the air. He is now, I believe, he has held every title in Lucha Underground, is what Matt Stryker said. So Johnny Mundo is now the new Lucha Underground champion. Good. I'm glad that he is. I don't have anything against Sexy Star. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of what she does. I think she's incredibly overrated. She's not good in the ring. And I don't want to see a woman. Women have their place in wrestling, no question. Everybody's trying to jump on the WWE bandwagon with the fucking Revolution and doing these new and exciting, shocking things with their women. You know? You don't gotta follow WWE's footsteps, because whatever they're doing now is completely fucking terrible. Okay? It's a fucking two-woman show on Monday Night Raw. You got Sasha and you got Charlotte. That's it. Bayley has even taken a few steps back. And she was the face of a women's division in NXT. You don't need to go out there and say, hey, look at me. We just made a woman the face of our company as our world champion. You did it anyway. You didn't have to do that, but you did it anyway. And a lot of people told me, well, JD, if you've been watching Lucha Underground since season 1, they've been building to this. They've been building Sexy Star up, and it was a great payoff. Fine. It might have been a great payoff. Not something that I cared to see, even if I watched from season 1, episode 1, or if I watched starting from fucking Aztec Warfare. Number 3, I wasn't going to like it. That's just the way I am. I love me some women wrestling. I want women to be on equal level as the men in every fucking promotion that I watch. Because women wrestling has come a long way from when I was a little child watching WWF. I remember the Alundra Blazes and the fucking Bull Nakanos and then the Trish Stratuses and the Litas and everything else. And some of you guys who watch indie promotions who have women that you watch from all across the globe that probably put those women plus some to shame. I don't want women competing with the men. I want women competing against the women. And I have a problem with Lucha Underground giving the title to a Sexy Star, no matter if it was built up to this point or not. Johnny Mundo or Mil Muertes or Matanza, Rey Mysterio, Pentagon Dark, Killshot, somebody that is a male needs to be the face of that company, not a woman. And I mean that in no negative way whatsoever. I know there'll be some fucking goon who misconstrues what I say. No. I don't want to see a female at the top of the card competing against a fucking main event guy like a Johnny Mundo or a Mil Muertes. It's not believable to me. It's not believable. You know? We watch wrestling to suspend our belief, to just get sucked away in the storylines. And, you know, God knows what fucking Lucha Underground is doing with their programming, you know? They got fucking ancient ghosts, and they got fucking wrestlers who've lived 5,000 years, and they got people who were fucking killed on their show, you know? Pentagon Darks breaking arms left and right. I understand that, but I at least want there to be some believability when I'm watching the in-ring action. And I can't believe Sexy Star winning a world championship and defending the championship against guys who are 20 times the size of her. I didn't believe it when she did it to Mil Muertes. I'm not going to believe it against anybody else she goes up against. She's not good. She's not good. It was a feel-good moment. Lucha Underground did it for whatever reason, ratings, or they wanted to pop. You know, pop the crowd, pop the dirt sheets, get some eyes on the product. You did what you did. The honeymoon's over. Get back to business. That's what I got to say about that. So, Johnny Mundo won the championship in controversial fashion. Dario might end up fucking Johnny Mundo. I don't know. He might end up fucking over Johnny Mundo. Because you guys know that they don't see eye to eye. And Sexy Star, I'm assuming she was the champion. She lost it. She's probably going to get a rematch. Rematch clause. The championship rematch clause that is so prevalent in every fucking promotion. We might see a rematch. So I don't know where they're going from here. You know? I don't suspect, or I don't expect Johnny Mundo to hold the title throughout the entire season. You know? This season's going to go to next July. We got another 7 months of Lucha Underground, 8 months, 9 months of Lucha Underground. I don't expect Johnny Mundo to hold the title for the rest of the season. Something's going to happen. Whether it's Mil Muertes, whether it's Sexy Star again, whether it's Matanza. That's the thing I'm worried about. How are they going to... And they ended it beautifully with Matanza. He lost. And he lost the way he should have. Thank God not by Sexy Star pinning him. But he lost. And then he snapped. He shoved his brother down. He didn't give a fuck. He destroyed Rey Mysterio. He got taken out on a stretcher. And he just disappeared. What he's doing, I don't know. Is he fucking on a killing spree? Is he going to lock himself in a cage until he fucking goes crazy and then he comes back to the temple and starts shedding blood all over the place? I don't know. I'm interested to see Johnny Mundo versus Matanza. That's what I've been wanting to see. With the interaction between Mundo and Dario Cueto, I'm interested to see Matanza get back in there and fucking be the beast that I know he can be. But I'm not going to complain about what happened on Aztec Warfare. It happened. The 1 week honeymoon is over. I expect something to come of this controversy tonight, being that Taya was in a mask and helped Johnny Mundo win. I'm assuming Dario's going to have to say something about that in the weeks to come. But in the end, Johnny Mundo is your new Lucha Underground Championship. Champion. No disrespect to the women. I don't think they should be in main event situations with the men fighting over a world championship. You know, there's a reason why there's a women's division and a women's championship. And I know Lucha Underground is different and does things differently and beats to the fucking music of their own drum. But that doesn't mean I gotta see Sexy Star in a main event. And I don't give a shit what match she had with Mariposa, and I don't give a shit how bloody it was. I don't care. That was against a female. This is against men. And women and men do not belong in the same ring, one-on-one, fighting over world championships. That's just the way I feel. You're not going to change my opinion on that. And she's not even that good, like I said. I would have said the same thing about Ivelisse, who I think is fantastic. You know, I would have said the same thing about anybody. Anybody. Can you imagine WWE doing that? Having Charlotte win the fucking world championship? Jesus Christ, I'd fucking throw myself off a building if I seen that. Awful. Anyway, Lucha Underground, that was the main thing about Lucha Underground this week. The other matches that took place tonight, Drago, Phoenix, and Aerostar versus the Rabbit Tribe, Paul London. Paul London, with his new gimmick here, Saltador and Mala Suerte. This was a Trios Championship match. Really nothing all that impressive. I'm intrigued by what Paul London is doing. He looks like a fucking psychopath, but that's what gets my attention. You know? I don't know what the fuck's going on here. He came out. He looks like a fucking magician. He literally looks like he's about to put a fucking top hat on and pull a rabbit out of a top hat. You know? But this match wasn't all that special. It was just weird. It was just very weird. Drago, Phoenix, Aerostar won. You know? They retained the Trios Championship. What happens with Paul London and his little rabbit tribe from here, I don't know. You know? New characters on Lucha Underground, and that's what it is. Just a weird match. And you got Drago, Phoenix, and Aerostar retaining. And then Killshot versus Dante Fox, which was unfucking believable, man. Killshot, I'm watching this match, and not only did my jaw drop twice during two moves, specifically in this match, I'm thinking Killshot is fucking great. The match that he had with Marty the Moth, I want to say it's the best main event that I've seen all season on Lucha Underground, but then we had Aztec Warfare, and we had the Grave Consequences match. It's up there. It's up there for sure. Those two fucking blew me away with that match, man. Unbelievable stuff by Marty the Moth, the Beast himself, and Killshot nearly killing each other. Reminded me of what attracted me to ECW. I remember back in fucking high school, I'm fucking buying ECW VHS tapes, you know, watching ECW because I had no access to it. And I get home from school and I pop in ECW and I watch all the fucking blood and brutality and the fucking unbelievable shit that you'd never see in WWF back in the day. And that's exactly what those guys reminded me of, man. And that's great. I love that old school feel that those guys brought to the table during that main event. But Killshot reminds me of fucking New Jack. Now, I know he's not New Jack himself, but New Jack was just on a fucking another planet. Killshot reminds me of New Jack because he doesn't give a shit about what he does. He will risk his body, life or limb, to fucking entertain somebody, fucking do something to somebody. Dante Fox surprised the fuck out of me too, man. This was his debut match in Lucha Underground. And these guys went back and forth, man. Such an even match. Great athletes these guys are. Back and forth, trading blows. There was two parts of this match that really made me stop what I was doing. I had opened up a bag of Doritos, and I'm fucking eating my ranch, by the way. Eating my Doritos, and I stop. Mid-match, I don't know if Dante Fox fucked up here. I don't know if Killshot meant to go for one move but did something else. It was a mixture of two moves. In the middle of the match, in the middle of the ring, Killshot delivered what I thought was supposed to be an RKO, and it looked like a Stone Cold Stunner. A mix of both. Now, they're both very similar. You know, one's drop down, one's, you know, you guys get the point, you know. I don't know whether he was going for an RKO or a stunner, but it looked like it was a mix of both. And the way Dante Fox's neck hit the mat, I'm surprised he didn't have a fucking broken neck. Guy gets right back up. They continue fighting, you know. They continue fighting. All of a sudden, I'm watching and my jaw even hits the ground harder the second time around. Killshot's got Dante Fox on the top rope in a fireman's carry position. Now, instead of doing a Death Valley driver in the ring, no, this is Lucha Underground. We go above and beyond, bro. This guy did a fucking Death Valley driver off the top rope onto the apron of the ring. How Dante Fox was not fucking... I don't know how the fuck he got up from that. You heard the fucking crowd explode with holy shit chants. This guy took a fucking beating. And how we got up from that, I don't know. It was great to see, though. I sat there for about 30 seconds with my fucking eyes rolled in the back of my head, my jaw dropped. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's got to be dead. And they keep fighting. They keep fighting. Key lock, submission hold by Killshot. Dante reversed it. He reversed out of that. And the match ends with a fucking seated Spanish fly. He sets Killshot on the top rope with a seated Spanish fly. Fox hits a vertical spine buster, and he labels that the Fox Catcher, and he gets a fucking victory. Great fucking match by both men, man. And this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. If this match, regular one-on-one match between these two guys, is any indication about where this story is going, you got my attention, gentlemen. You guys killed it tonight. Easily the best match of the night. Definitely, if you guys got it on DVR, or if you got to go back and watch it by any means, watch those two sequences, man. You're going to be like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Devastating fucking moves. Dante Fox is fucking great. His debut match, he wins. Killshot is great as well. Can't wait to see more from these two guys. Unbelievable action. And that was pretty much it, man. That was it for Lucha Underground. There was also an instance backstage with Dario and Johnny Mundo. Wasn't all that entertaining at all, but it all led to Johnny Mundo, you know, visiting and letting Cueto know that he's got his lawyers looking into, you know, whatever the fuck he's looking into. I guess that fucking idiot that jumped off the balcony. I forgot his name. And Helico. Right? There was something with him and interfering in the Aztec Warfare match. And Mundo's got papers and lawyers to get a restraining order against Angelico. And Dario Cueto was going back and forth with Johnny Mundo on that. But that was pretty much it, man. It was Mundo winning the world title and Killshot and Dante Fox giving you an unbelievable match this week on Lucha Underground. And like I said in the beginning, very uneventful. Very uneventful for whatever happened. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Johnny Mundo, if Dario Cueto has anything to say about this, winning in controversial fashion. But that was Lucha Underground, and that was NXT, guys. So let me know what you guys are thinking down below. Leave me some comments. What was your favorite match of the night? Am I wrong to think the way I do against Sexy Star? I don't mean anything by it. I'm just very traditional, man. I'm very old school. I don't want to see the women holding a world championship. There's a place for women in wrestling. You know? They need to be equal to the men. I just don't want to. I don't want to have them holding world championships and fighting for world championships. That's the way I feel. I would feel if it was. I would feel the same way if it was anybody in any other promotion. That's just the way I feel about that. And I'm glad Johnny Mundo won the title. But let me know what you guys think about that. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it. And I will be back on Friday off the script. We got big news coming out of Survivor Series. Goldberg, Lesnar, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, bunch of shit. Conor McGregor's in the news. Ronda Rousey's in WWE news. Bunch of shit to go over, so make sure you guys tune in on Friday for Off the Script. Barbershop window, 30% off. Use the code Black Friday if you guys want 30% off any of my t-shirts, man. And I will be back on Friday, like I said. I'm JD. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on Friday.